Hi, welcome back to 31 Days of AR, VR, and EDU. We're at day 21, and today we're going to be talking about the Horizon Workrooms created by what was known as Facebook, now Meta. I had a chance to check this out back last year in August when it was first released. It's still in beta. I really think it's probably one of the best virtual meeting spaces possible today. They do a lot of great features in here that allow better collaboration than what we currently have in many of the other VR meeting spaces. And I think looking forward, we have an opportunity to collaborate, whether that be with colleagues or students, in a way that was really impossible up until now. They do use some really fun avatars, which I enjoy. I think everybody can appreciate the avatars. They also have a customized VR space. You select and customize it to best suit your needs for your team. You will need a MacBook or a Windows PC to use the desktop companion app. You'll also need the Meta Quest 2 in order to connect and collaborate in the space. So the VR headset, while people can join in just on video on their computers, they're not necessarily getting, of course, the same experience as you would get if you were joining in virtual reality. So those devices do list currently that they work on, for instance, a MacBook Pro. I actually have a MacBook Air, one of the most recent Airs, and it still worked. It was still compatible. So I think that right now, probably what they have listed are a sure bet that they will function well in the space. And, the other devices probably aren't as consistently worked out. So I was happy to see that my MacBook Air did work. They do recommend a 4 feet by 4 feet minimum. I think that's wise. It just gives you plenty of space to work in. And if you're just on your computer, it should work out pretty well. They just really want to help avoid any collisions or problems that you may have if it is too tight of a space. One of the best features inside of Horizon Workrooms is the pass-through features. And this, I think, helps stand out from the rest. It allows you to essentially scan your desk and identify the dimensions of your desk, and that become kind of your workable space. So anything on your desk as you're navigating and moving around, it ultimately is tracking what you're doing in that space. It also does the hand and keyboard tracking. So as I'm using my hands to navigate, my avatar is mimicking my hands and my expressions. In addition to that, it also is tracking your keyboard. There's a few keyboards out there that are compatible. In my case, I was again able to use my MacBook Air, and it picked up my keyboard on my computer. I do now have the Apple and keyboard mouse that I didn't have when I first tested this, but I do think that it is more convenient to use your computer if possible, and just understanding where things are at instead of moving from a keyboard to a mouse. Some other features that you may find is the remote desktop streaming. So again, I mentioned that you need to have the Oculus Remote Desktop Companion app. That is essential. Again, this is just connecting and allowing your screen to be visible and available in these VR meeting spaces, which is really cool. I think that's it's easy to screen share, which they allow, and file share, which is an exception, but to be able to actually remote desktop in and stream that, I think it just makes it much more convenient and less likely that you'll hop out of VR to find what you're looking for and then bring it back into VR. They also have the spatial audio, which of course is pretty standard when you're talking about virtual reality. So as you're looking around and listening to people, as you turn your head, you're going to be able to hear from that direction, and things are going to sound faint or more direct depending on your location and the direction you're looking. Another feature that I really like is the virtual whiteboard. This actually requires a little bit larger space than was the minimum before. And that's because you're actually getting up and finding a wall. And in that wall, you're writing on it like you're writing on a whiteboard. It's really cool, very surreal, a lot more controlled than you would have if you were trying to use your mouse or touchpad. But in this case, to have a virtual whiteboard allows you to get up and describe things easier, and you can sit there and watch in virtual reality as it's showing up in the VR space as you're physically moving your remote inside of your real world. So it's a cool way, again, of connecting our real reality to our virtual reality and allowing us to collaborate and work essentially seamlessly, so we're not jumping between different situations to collaborate with our team members. I do believe that Horizon Workrooms is a look into the future of how we're going to be collaborating, but most importantly, preparing our students for this next level of communication and how they're going to be collaborating, whether that be related to higher education or be related right into their careers. I already know of people that work through virtual reality and meetings already. And I think that as we move deeper into our metaverse type experiences, we're going to see a lot more of these things showing up and applicable for people to collaborate and connect. So I hope you enjoy it. Check it out. And I will see you tomorrow for 31 days of AR, VR, and EDU.